There has been a longing on TikTok for what once was for a long time, a longing for what some people would describe as better days, the golden age of the platform. There have been a lot of people who have been saying, I miss the old TikTok. They proclaim it up loudly from the rooftops. They shout it down at their dogs so loud they burst both of their eardrums. They chant it in unison at a Travis Scott concert when he's fallen through the stage again. They have nothing better to do with themselves while they wait for him to get up. Hi again, you big beefy boys, and as I've scrolled through TikTok more and more these past few months, I've noticed that TikToks like these are popping up more and more. People doing throwback videos to old trends, people in comments saying how much they want to go back. The culture of TikTok is split on itself. It finds itself in a sort of cold civil war, caught between its new mainstream identity that has late night hosts like John Oliver referencing it in a way that isn't just making fun of it for once. Celebrities like Tyga fully throwing themselves into the app's culture, like I'm sure many of you want to throw yourselves back into the womb right about now. And on the other side, the users of a forgotten time, aka late 2018. People who found the app through places like YouTube and the internet and want us to go back to simpler times, like the gamer versus furry war. And that really was a less complex time, I'll be honest. Back when Dade Show was the undisputed ruler of the For You page, and when the only reason people were on TikTok was for the duet feature to bully people with.
What?
I didn't say anything.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you're beautiful.
Oh my god.
I enjoy looking at beautiful people.
That's still my best piece of work ever, no contest. Some people say the real decline of TikTok was cemented when Charli D'Amelio arrived on the scene and became the biggest thing the app had ever spit out of its brain cell killing ecosystem, that her sleek dance moves and clean California content and image washed the image of its entertainment value while relegating us into the pits of hell, never to escape. While I would personally disagree with the latter of those points, even I have to admit that there's just some classic stuff that blew up on TikTok back in the day that just doesn't do it like it used to. Like, when was the last time something as stupid and brain dead as a diss track at a former porn star over a beef that was started because of something that the porn star didn't even actually say went viral because some random cosplayer made a little video to it on TikTok, huh? Shit like that just doesn't happen anymore, man. The world's decided to collapse in on itself in other ways these days. And because of such intense questions such as these ones, I would like to continue this analysis of what went wrong, as well as occasionally take a look at some of these old trends to figure out whether they even deserve to be brought back or should be kept in the dirt alongside Vine and Snapchat. Firstly, just to get this massive headache out of the way, it's really hard in my head to say shit like, I miss the old TikTok, without sounding to myself like one of those lay wrong generation cretins. And I mean, you could argue that compilations of old TikToks are all over the place already, so people should just go watch those or something instead. But there's a culture that we had that just doesn't exist like it used to, man. And I agree that there's no recapturing that exact same feeling we had back in the day, so it's understandable why some people yearn for that easier time. But we have to recognize that we sound like massive tools every time we do so. TikTok videos paid off my illegal mortgage, okay? God, what the hell was I doing in 2018? What were any of us doing in 2018? I can't even remember anymore.
Mia Khalifa, right, hit or miss. I guess they never miss, huh? I got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss ya. He gon' find another girl and he won't miss ya. Hit the dirty, hit the dab like Wiz Khalifa.
Ah, this trend we're about to discuss is what we were doing back then. It's the classic hit or miss, and this one's a goddamn hit, mainly because it slaps me right between the nuts every time I listen to it. The instrumental on its own just unironically kinda goes. The delivery of the singing is cobbled together and just not super well sung at all, but god damn it does that make it more relatable and catchy, because that's how most of us sing. Everything from the cosplay that was used in the most popular video of the song to that fucking twirling dance that everybody knows beat for beat in their head. This song is timeless. Anthony Fantano gave it Music Meme of the Year back in 2018, and it hasn't really died on the app today if we're being honest. It pokes its head back out every now and then to try and get a couple 100,000 likes on a video. So I feel safe in saying this bitch should come back, mainly because it already has, and I really need something like it in my life right now. Drugs and chicken nuggets just are not cutting it anymore. This trend gets approved for modern circulation. One of those things that gets argued a lot in old TikTok versus new TikTok discussions is that there's just a lot of classic creators that aren't around anymore. Whether they left the platform of their own accord because they finally got lives or were struck off the platform so often it just wasn't worth continuing. This actually happened to one of my all-time favorite TikTok stars, Grandma's Coochie. You will forever be missed, fallen soldier. But I think that in missing and wishing we had those creators back, we can't forget the ones that are still around. People like Dade Show, and also some of the really new creators in the block who are just doing crazy shit out here. You have homegrown TikTok stars like Polo Boy, who pretty much single-handedly added the word simp to the English language, making looking at the first word in the dictionary that no one will ever know the actual meaning of, the Three Stooges, the third one being imaginary, made up of Frankie's Fun and Asafi Robbed, basically pioneered a whole new style of skit comedy on the platform. One that feels super reminiscent of the shitpostier, more ironic, and overall degenerate defined times of ancient TikTok. And it's through creators like these who find success today that are part of how old TikTok lives on. Speaking of shooting things like you would with a camera, this next TikTok.
There's only one thing to do, 3 words for you.
Aha! This was the TikTok trend of the working man. This trend was not something you did if you were of the faint of heart, because it was one that was very involved. For starters, you had to physically write out and fold all the note cards yourself, which was a real challenge if you're me, because you haven't written words down in 2 years since you graduated high school. But even after all that, then you had to bodily knock them out of frame somehow to make room for the next one, whether that was swiping them away with your hands or by using some kind of blunt object, like your little brother's head. But once again, brute strength and the ability to write still weren't enough here. Precision was also much needed. As you saw in the example, he pulled out a Nerf gun and nailed the camera. Not only was that an option for your big finale, but some people decided to do that for the whole TikTok, shooting down the cards in time with the music without missing a single shot. But for good measure, the homie in the example we showed chose to jump over the camera and switch up the music to a different TikTok trend entirely. He really ticked all the boxes, for real for real. Speaking of ticking the boxes, I found this other TikTok of 2 friends or siblings. I'm not sure which because it really could be either. The concept is they joined TikTok at different times, one back in October 2018 and the other in summer 19, and the concept was that they play an old compilation of TikTok sounds and see who recognizes what. It was a TikTok that did pretty good too, and there are a ton more videos like it. One's of people playing a compilation of old 2018 TikTok songs to see which ones they do and don't recognize. We also have creators who post videos of them bringing back old TikTok trends that also do numbers. Old TikTok is alive and well in this way too, encapsulated into new TikToks that get seen by fresh eyes. Ones who might grow an appreciation for these classic sounds and what they did to enable TikTok to grow even further. I mentioned earlier that one of the things a sect of people seem to be really against these days is Charli D'Amelio and people like her on the app taking it to the mainstream. Listen, I'm just saying, if TikTok hadn't gone mainstream, people like you and me would keep getting bullied for using it, man. Count your blessings. It's finally socially acceptable to scroll a phone for hours at a time again. I also think you can make an argument that back then, really good original stuff wasn't being posted to TikTok as consistently as it is today. Meaning that sure, there was a lot of funny and amusing stuff on TikTok that totally has value back then, and you definitely had your original pieces of work that were unironically good, but these days we're getting a lot more original sketches and people trying new things. People are running entire ARGs out of TikTok these days. The platform has its own culture that lets videos on it be more meta at times when it's thinking about itself a bit too much. And there's just a whole lot of new content in general. The For You page has always felt infinite, but every time you get on TikTok these days, it's almost guaranteed that you'll eventually find something. Something that really makes you cackle until your jaw falls off, bloodied and beaten from smacking your upper lip too much. And I think it's totally cool to reminisce about the old things we enjoyed. I mean, I do the same thing with the quality of my shits. But, also like my toilet sessions, it's also cool to see all the new stuff which we're enjoying now. Which, hey, maybe you aren't that and you genuinely do just hate everything that gets thrown up on TikTok these days. In which case, watch this.
I wanna be Tracer, I'm already Tracer, I wanna be Genji. Okay, listen, the song's gonna get claimed if I leave it in, but you know how it goes. Just like pull it out of your brain, let the memory seek in, all that stuff.
Did that old TikTok calm you down? Because I know it did for me. I have nothing but good feelings for I Wanna Be Tracer these days. It gave me a slapper video back in 2018, so I have to give it the respect that it deserves. At the time though, I did not think of it that way. When at every corner that you turned, you would hear that song playing everywhere, it was hard not to go mad. But I managed to get through it, and now all of that is in the past, so I can truly enjoy it for what it is, a Living Tombstone song. If you don't know who the Living Tombstone is outside of that one song, then you are absolutely missing out. And outside of that, he's known for songs about other video games, like Five Nights at Freddy's and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and also some My Little Pony, because that makes sense in this combination, duetting fake gamer girls. Ones who were no good at pretending to use a controller. They would call them out by replacing the controller with the most outlandish shit, whether it was using their gamer chair as a gamepad or replacing their heads with the keyboard entirely. I guess the moral of the story though is who gives a shit? Nothing is real and nothing matters, meaning that it's okay to enjoy whatever you like, whether that be the classics or the things that will someday be the classics. Also, that is another thing. For a lot of people out there, including some of you watching, and some of you who do want to go back to late 2018, early 2019 TikTok, someday you may consider the TikTok of today the good old days. The TikTok of now might be the old. That time when you were locked inside the house, unable to see friends, go outside, or do anything too productive. During all of that, TikTok kept you company, and perhaps you'll wish for simpler times where you had no responsibility again somewhere down the road. It's as they say, those who only look to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. Like, did you know that there's TikTok gang wars? People were shooting up in green and purple alien costumes amongst a bunch of other colors in GTA 5, then they went to go and beat up somebody from the enemy team and make some TikToks about it. Shit was crazy, and the most community-involved shit I've seen on TikTok since the furry versus gamer war. And it made me realize, old TikTok content never really died. It lives on in the things we make and participate in, like the LEGO Star Wars profile pictures. It lives on in the content we watch and enjoy from the sidelines. And perhaps most importantly, it lives on in the stuff we don't see. So if you want it, go looking for it, brother, because it's out there waiting for you. Even after having that realization though, part of me still wants to go back for some reason anyways. And that's okay, because who really gives a shit? Like what you like. This video was meant mostly as jokes anyways, so you might as well drop a like now if you want to keep your ring finger for wedding night. Also, subscribe with notifications on, that too, you already know that this is a threat. Anyways, you can follow me on Twitter at Kwite, on Instagram at Kwite.png, and on TikTok at Kwite TikTok. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.